Somatics has become a bit of a trendy word, right? Have you noticed, especially in the coaching world, a lot of ex-marketers seem to be using the word and becoming somatic coaches, which is quite interesting. But for me, somatics is not just about listening into the body. Somatics is not just about trauma. And although it's becoming a bit of a buzzword, the way I call what I do somatic dance doesn't actually fully honour the depth of what this work can do. It doesn't actually fully honour even what our bodies are about. So the word somatics was originally coined by Thomas Hanna in the 70s, and he created Hanna Somatic Education. And it's very inward, it's very precise, it's really all about tracking. If you've studied somatics to help you with trauma, great, that's amazing. If you've learned to track and understand what's happening in your body in micro moments and understand how and when something is getting dysregulated, noticing when you're getting triggered. If you've come into the somatics world because you need your nervous system regulated, great, amazing. To be able to really track and sense what's really happening in our body is a real privilege, and it's a real gift because we're always up here in this modern world. But for me, somatics and the way I use it in dance is so much more. So technically it was coined by Thomas Hanna in the 70s, but it comes from a Greek word somatikos, for the body. Ancient traditions have talked about an animated body, our body being like the animated earth, our body being a luminous body. And our body has several levels. We have our physical, we have our mental, we have our emotional, and we have our spiritual. Now, spiritual is another word that's become a bit overused, misappropriated, triggers people still, especially if they've come from very strict religious upbringings. But I use the word spirituality in the most expansive way possible. Spirituality can be a practice, but it can also be something that we discover within us, in our bodies. Because when we drop out of our normal everyday, we drop into our subconscious levels, which is what runs 95% of the show anyway. We come into a different level of awareness, a different consciousness, a dreamlike state, that state of meditation, that state of when you're actually starting to travel between different worlds. If you're a daydreamer, if you think outside the box, if you're not always sticking to the rules, then you'll know what I mean. There are other levels of existence. There are other levels of perception, right? And no, you don't have to take a ton of LSD to get there. When we drop deep into our bodies, we can access a whole new level of being, a whole new sense of connection within us, a whole new sense of expansion, a whole new way of seeing things. That is what's so beautiful and so incredible, and actually a bit different from what you might associate somatic work and somatic movements to be. For me, somatics both boxes in what I do, but at the same time, it also honours the full expansiveness of what the word fully means. Because we have an energetic body. We have so many different bodies. In yoga, they talk of the 5 koshas, the different sheaths, the layers of our being. So somatics, although it's kind of been coined in the Western way, when it links to traditional ways, it uncovers another level of existence for us. Our ancestors felt connected to the earth. Staying in nature, living in the natural kingdom, means that you get attuned to the different energies of the living world. The energy in water, the energy in the plants, in the trees. We are part of this living planet, this living nature. And there is so much research now that documents how, there is more to this planet than meets the eye. In fact, the Heart Math Institute has done research on how plants talk to each other. For example, there is more to us than meets the eye. Much, much more. But for me, it's not just about connecting inward, it's also about finding that support. It's about dropping in so deep that when we go into the flow, we can literally connect into another dimension of ourselves. And isn't it a gift that we have this ability? And isn't it a gift when you give yourself that time and space to honour the depth of you and look at the bigger picture, look at the bigger questions of why we're here on this planet, what we're really here for, what is our purpose, right? All of this is stuff that through the body and through what I call visionary somatic dance, it's possible to discover. And it's also about our small self and our big self, right? When we consider our place in this world and how brief our time is actually on this planet, I think we owe it to ourselves to make it the most productive, the most expansive, the most joyful, and the most giving and receiving way that we can. And that's a big reason also why I do this work, to give ourselves this time so that we can be better human beings and give more of ourselves to our life, to the people around us, to our communities, to the work that we need to put out in the world. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Drop a comment below, and I'd love to know if you've ever had any experiences where you've managed to see beyond yourself and perhaps also seen the different layers of who you are. Like or subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon.